Tucked away between Farringdon and the Barbican, the Hand and Shears has witnessed centuries of London's transformation. Since the 15th century, this pub has stood as a symbol of resilience, weathering in a city and a world in constant flux.
So the pub gets its name, the Hand and Shears, from the fact that we're actually on Cloth Fair. Cloth Fair gets its name from the Bartholomew Fair that used to take place every year. This was originally to raise funds for St. Bartholomew the Great. They ran out of money within a few years of them starting building work. And back then there weren't just shops that you could buy cloth. You'd have to have cloth merchants coming from all across Europe. So this was a major trade fair, getting people from all across the continent. This pub, actually the very room we're sitting in, is where they used to often adjudicate between disputes between traders, actually. So there was a sort of courthouse function of it. And the pub itself, well, we know that it's had a license since the mid-16th century when it became mandatory to have a license to sell beer. The date of the pub is actually 1532, so it has, I'm not sure how we know that it goes back to that, but it definitely predates the licensing laws by several decades.
Legend has it the phrase "one for the road" was born right here at the Hand and Shears, a final drink before heading out into your execution.
So one for the road, it comes from the fact that you're having your last drink and you're going to be taken off to be hanged. Now, executions, like I said, they took place mainly in the sort of 19th century in Newgate Prison. Before that, people would be taken to Tyburn or to Smithfield, actually. So these would be, you know, a short road journey in the case of Smithfield, but a somewhat longer one in the case of Tyburn. But this would be like your last drink, your last chance to really socialise and talk to people and maybe, you know, give your side of the story before you be taken off to be executed. And it's, you know, like I said, it's a very big public spectacle, so you're something of a celebrity on the day of your execution. This area grew up outside the jurisdiction of the City of London. A lot of things that were forbidden inside the city took place in Smithfield. So obviously that's the meat market, there's a hygiene aspect to that. Things like jousting and other forms of entertainment like public executions. This was a huge draw. You know, you might get typically maybe 1 in 5, 1 in 4 people. On a good day, 1 in 3 would show up. And public executions remained a mainstay of London life, done in Smithfield and also in Tyburn, amongst a few other locations, until the end of the 18th century, when London had a population approaching 1 million.
And despite its rich history, the City of London still holds a hidden, lucrative underbelly.
You also get the guilds around here. So you've got several of London's guilds. You've got the Founders Hall just across the road. And also it's popular as Freemasons too. So you do quite often see people in their sort of regalia coming in here. And that makes for quite an interesting atmosphere because these people are you know, quite distinct, and there's a certain atmosphere that they bring with them, but also due to the very sort of confined nature of some of the spaces here, you will end up talking to them and, you know, barging shoulders with them. So it's actually a great place to sort of get a little bit of an insight into, I think, other sides of London life that, you know, are different to your own in a way.
After 900 years, Smithfield Market is facing the end of an era, with major changes on the horizon.
It's quite a lot of smoke and mirrors in terms of what you're actually being told versus what's actually happening. It does require an act of parliament, though, that hasn't gone through. I think if that was to go, that would completely change the area's feel. It might well end up like Covent Garden or Borough Market as a much more touristy, but probably less culturally rich place. So I very much fear that change.